All right, guys. Today I'm going to be reading some of the creepiest Reddit stories on the internet. From strange roommates to terrifying late-night encounters, these stories honestly sound like horror movies. Turn the lights down, put your headphones on, and let's jump into the first Reddit story.
My roommate had one rule: never open the second freezer. When I moved into the apartment, the rent was suspiciously cheap. Like, too cheap. It was a decent place, too. 2 bedrooms, clean kitchen, quiet neighborhood. My roommate, Daniel, seemed normal enough. Mid-30s, worked night shifts, barely talked. The only weird thing was the basement. On the first day, he showed me around and casually said, "Everything's shared except the second freezer downstairs. Don't touch that one." He said it so calmly that I laughed and asked if he was hiding bodies in there. He didn't laugh back. For the first few weeks, everything was fine. I worked mornings, he worked nights, so we almost never saw each other. But every night around 3 a.m., I'd hear him downstairs. Metal clanking, dragging sounds, the freezer opening and closing. At first I ignored it, but then the smell started. Not strong, just faint, like rotten meat covered with bleach. One night, I finally went downstairs while he was gone. There were 2 chest freezers side by side. The first one had normal food. The second one had 3 padlocks on it. That should have been enough for me to walk away. Instead, I noticed something taped to the lid. A photo. It was old and faded, but it showed Daniel standing next to another guy in front of the same apartment. Written on the back, "Best roommate ever, 2017. I asked Daniel about it later, and his face changed instantly. He grabbed the photo out of my hand and said, "You went downstairs?" I lied and said no. After that, things got tense. He started checking if my bedroom door was open when he came home. Started asking weird questions, like, "Do you tell your family where you live? Do people expect you home every day?" I started sleeping with a chair against my door. Then one night, I woke up thirsty around 2 a.m. and heard someone breathing outside my room. Not moving, just standing there. I stayed completely still. After about 5 minutes, I heard footsteps slowly walk away. The next morning, I packed a bag and decided I was leaving after work. But when I got home, the freezer was open and empty. Daniel was sitting in the kitchen smiling. He looked at me and said, "You were right not to open it." I left that night and never went back. 3 months later, I searched his name online. He had been arrested years earlier for improper handling of human remains while working at a funeral home. No idea what was actually in that freezer. And honestly, I don't want to know. I accidentally joined a group chat that predicted deaths. About 2 years ago, I got added to a random group chat. No intro, no explanation. Just around 12 people with weird usernames. At first, I assumed it was spam, but then someone sent, "Prediction for Thursday. Male, age 42, highway collision, blue sedan." Everyone reacted with thumbs up emojis like that was normal. I muted the chat. The next day during lunch, my coworker mentioned a fatal highway crash involving a blue sedan. Same age. I remembered the message instantly. That creeped me out, but I still figured it was coincidence. Then the messages kept coming. Teenage girl, drowning, Saturday. Elderly woman, Grocery store collapse. Apartment fire. Family survives except father. Every single one happened. I started checking local news obsessively. Every prediction came true within days. The scary part was nobody in the chat acted emotional about it. They treated it like sports betting. People would reply, "Called it, knew the location, too easy." One night, I finally asked, "Who are you people?" No response for like an hour. Then someone replied, "Observers." That's it. Observers. I should have left right there. But curiosity got me addicted. I kept watching. Then one day, they posted my city. Male 24 workplace incident Tuesday. I was 24. I called out sick Tuesday, spent the whole day locked in my apartment panicking. Nothing happened. Around 11 p.m., someone in the chat sent, "Delayed, wrong target." Wrong target? The next morning, I learned a 24-year-old guy from my office died in an electrical accident. That was the moment I tried leaving the chat. But there was no option. No matter how many times I exited, I'd get added back within minutes. Then they started talking directly to me. "You're noticing patterns. You shouldn't read too much. You were never supposed to stay this long." I changed my number, deleted my accounts, bought a new phone. The chat still appeared. Same messages, same people. Last month, someone posted, "Observer breach likely." Another person replied, "Handle it before he talks." I haven't slept properly since. And before you ask, yeah, I'm still in the group chat. My little brother kept talking to someone in the walls. When my family moved into the new house, my little brother Tyler was 6 years old. At first, he loved it. Huge backyard, big attic, old wooden staircase. Typical creepy movie house. But about a week after moving in, Tyler started mentioning the man in the wall. Kids say weird stuff, so nobody took it seriously. Mom assumed imaginary friend. Dad laughed it off. But Tyler got more specific every day. He talks at night. He says he used to live here. He doesn't like when Dad yells. That last part bothered me because my parents had been fighting a lot privately. Nobody knew Tyler could hear them. Then Tyler started leaving food near the vents. Tiny little offerings. Cookies, fruit snacks, pieces of chicken. When we ask why, he'd whisper. He gets angry when he's hungry. One night I woke up around 1 a.m. and heard Tyler talking in his room. Not unusual. Except someone answered him. A grown man's voice. Quiet, scratchy. I froze in the hallway listening. Tyler said, "Can you come out now?" The voice replied, "Not yet." I burst into the room and turned the lights on. Nobody there. Tyler started crying and screaming. "You scared him away!" My parents searched the entire house. Nothing. After that, things escalated fast. We'd hear scratching inside the walls almost every night. Tools went missing. Food disappeared. Then, one morning, Mom found muddy footprints leading from the basement to Tyler's room. Adult-sized footprints. Dad finally called the police. They searched the crawl spaces under the house. Turns out, there was someone living inside the walls. An older homeless man had apparently been secretly moving through the crawl spaces for months before we bought the house. They found blankets, food wrappers, photos of our family. But the scariest part? The police said there was only one set of footprints. One person. Tyler still insists there were two voices. My girlfriend sleep-talked and exposed a secret. I used to think sleep-talking was funny. My girlfriend Emma did it constantly. Mostly nonsense. One night, she sat straight up in bed and whispered, "He knows." I laughed and asked, "Who knows what?" She replied, "The basement." Then immediately laid back down. The next morning, she remembered none of it. But after that, the sleep talking got worse. Every few nights, she'd say strange things. "Don't let him in. He shouldn't have found the key. Why is he still downstairs?" The weird thing? We didn't have a basement. Or at least I thought we didn't. One weekend she went to visit her parents, and I decided to finally investigate the apartment storage closet she always kept locked. I figured maybe she was hiding gifts or something. I picked the lock. Behind the shelves was another door. Concrete stairs leading underground. The smell hit first. Damp air, mold, rust. There was a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling, and chains bolted into the wall. Not movie-style torture chains, more like restraints from a hospital. There was also a mattress, fresh water bottles, and deep scratches on the inside of the door. I ran upstairs instantly. When Emma came home, I confronted her. She went completely pale. Then she said something I'll never forget. "You opened it?" Not "what are you talking about?" Not denial. Just, "You opened it?" She admitted the basement existed before she moved in and claimed the previous owner had mental health.
That didn't explain why she kept it hidden, or why there were fresh supplies downstairs. That night, around 3 a.m., I woke up and noticed Emma wasn't in bed. I heard movement downstairs. Slow footsteps. Then a male voice. I left the apartment immediately and called her. She answered, whispering, "You shouldn't have looked." I never went back. A week later, she texted, "You were never in danger. He just hates strangers." I blocked her after that. Still have nightmares about what was actually down there.
I worked night security at a mall. Something was living there after closing. People think malls are empty at night. They're not. There's always noises. Air vents, escalators settling, random music turning on by itself. I worked security at a dying mall during college. Easy job, mostly. Just walk around, check locked stores, don't fall asleep. But every guard warned me about Corridor C, an abandoned hallway near the old food court. Apparently, motion sensors kept triggering there around 2 a.m. Maintenance blamed faulty wiring, but cameras never showed anything. One night, I was doing rounds when I heard footsteps behind me, bare feet slapping tile. I turned around. Nothing there. But the footsteps kept going. Fast, like someone sprinting just out of sight. I radioed the other guard, joking, "Think your mall ghost is back?" Dead silence. Then he replied, "Get out of Corridor C." No joke in his voice at all. The light started flickering, and I noticed every store gate around me was slightly open, just a few inches.
Like someone had pushed them outward from inside. Then I saw it. A person crouched at the far end of the hallway. Too skinny, way too tall. Just staring. I yelled, "Mall security!" It smiled. Not normal smiling, like its mouth stretched too wide. Then it crawled into one of the empty stores. Not ran. Crawled. I chased after it for exactly 2 seconds before common sense kicked in. The store was empty, but there was a hole smashed through the back drywall leading into maintenance tunnels. The police checked the tunnels later and found signs someone had been living there for years. No idea who. No fingerprints. No identification. After that, Corridor C got permanently sealed off. But sometimes
when I drive past that mall at night, I still see movement behind the dark